Welcome to Gemara Academy. In this class, we will present a summary of the Gemara Masechta Shabbos on Daf Daled Amud Aleph, Daf Daled Amud Beis, and Daf Hey Amud Aleph. Let's begin. So the Mishnah said that the Mishnah counted the chiyuvim of the oni and the balabayas when they did the achnasa or the hitzah, and in each of the cases, either the akira or the hanacha was done from or to the hand of the other person. So the Gemara asks, "Amai chayev? Why is the individual chayev?" We need dalad al dalad for the akira and the anacha, and we don't have it because in each case there was either an akira or an anacha done from or to the hand of the other individual, and the hand of a person is not dalad al dalad. So the Gemara here presented 6 answers. The first answer was by Rabba. Rabba says that our Mishnah follows the opinion of Rabbi Kiva, who holds that you don't need dalad al dalad. Where does Rabbi Kiva say this? We have a machlekes between Rabbi Kiva and the Chachamim. If an individual threw an item from one Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah through a Rosh Hashanah, Rabbi Kiva says the person is chayiv, and the Chacham says he's pater. And the way we interpret the machlekes is the Rabbi Kiva says kluto k'misha hun chodamyo, that when an item is contained in the ear of a Rishus, it's as if it's resting in that Rishus, and therefore the item came to rest in the Rosh Hashanah. So the person did a hitzah from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, and the Chachamim say that we don't say kluto k'misha hun chodamyo, and therefore the person is pater. At any rate, we see that Rabbi Kiva holds that the fact that it's at rest in the Rishus is it's enough, even though it's not in an area that's dalad al dalad. Then the Gemara went into a side discussion, which was, is it clear to Rabba that that's how we interpret the machlekes between Rabbi Kiva and the Chachamim? But we find that Rabba actually had a question about this. We answered, Basar Dibaya Other Ifshitalei. After he had the question, later on he resolved it, that he holds that that's the argument. Rabbi Kiva says Kluta, and the Chachamim say Lo Yamrin and Kluta. The Gemara asks that from here we only see that you don't need hanacha on an area that's dalad al dalad, but we have no information that indicates that you don't need an akira from an area that's dalad al dalad. Then we presented the answer of Rav Yosef, who said that our Mishnah follows the opinion of Rebbe, who says we don't need dalad al dalad. The Gemara asks, "Hi Rebbe, which Rebbe is this?" If you look into Rebbe, you'll find that nowhere does he say such a thing. The first case of Rebbe that you possibly want to interpret it where he says you don't need dalad al dalad is when an individual throws an item 4 amas and Rosh Hashanah and it lands on a small area, less than dalad al dalad. Rebbe says the person's chayiv, and the Chacham says pater. We said that that's a case where it went onto a branch, and Rebbe says chayiv because we say shadi neifa basa yikari, since the ikar, the trunk of the tree, which is in Rosh Hashanah, since the trunk was dalad al dalad, we said that the branch is considered to have dalad al dalad, since the branch extends from the trunk. And the Chacham say we don't say the branch follows the trunk, and therefore we don't have dalad al dalad. So over there we see you do need dalad al dalad. The other case you'd possibly say is when an individual threw an item from one Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah through a Rosh Hashanah, and in that case Rebbe says chayiv, the Chacham say pater, and Rebbe says chayiv. It means that he's chayiv for 2 things. He's chayiv for the achnasa into Rosh Hashanah and the hitzah to Rosh Hashanah. Even though it didn't actually rest in the Rosh Hashanah, we still say that the person is chayiv. So we see you don't need dalad al dalad for the hanacha or for the akira. The Gemara answers that's by a roof to Rosh Hashanah. In our case, there's no roof. And if we'll say that our case has a roof, that'll make sense that the balabayas is standing under a roof, so it's still considered Rosh Hashanah. But the ani can't be under a roof because then it won't be that he's standing in Rosh Hashanah. If there's a roof on top of the person, it's not a Rosh Hashanah. So that answer didn't either work. Then we presented the answer of Rabbi Zera, who said that it's the opinion of Acherim, who said you don't need dalad al dalad. Where do they say this? They said if an individual threw an item 4 amas in Rosh Hashanah, if the person who caught the object, if he stayed in one place and caught it, the thrower is chayiv. If the person ran to catch it, then the thrower is pater. Now when he stayed in one place and caught it, why is the thrower chayiv? It fell into his hand. His hand is not dalad al dalad. We must say that from here we see that you don't need dalad al dalad. And that since you don't need dalad al dalad, therefore the thrower is chayiv, even though it landed in his fellow's hand, which is not dalad al dalad. The Gemara asks 2 questions on this answer. Number 1, here we only see that you don't need a hanacha on dalad al dalad. We have no information about the akira not needing to be from dalad al dalad. And number 2, we can say that the hanacha was also, it was also that the hanacha was on a place that's dalad al dalad, because all it says is amad v'mkayme v'kibel. It doesn't say he caught it in his hand. We can say that he stretched out his garment and caught it, and his garment was dalad al dalad. So those 3 answers try to say that our Mishnah follows an opinion that says we don't need dalad al dalad. Now we're going to present 3 answers that say that we do need dalad al dalad, and we have it in the Mishnah. The first is Rabbi Abba says that it's referring to a case where the individual is holding a basket. The ani had a basket, the balabayas had a basket. Since they each had a basket, so the akir and anacha was done from and to the basket, and the basket was dalad al dalad. The Gemara asks, "V'hayada tani?" It says in the Mishnah yade, not taraskal. It doesn't say there was a basket. So he said, Tani Traskel Shabiyadi, read into our Mishnah that there was a basket. Then the Gemara goes into a side discussion for a moment, which is, it would seem from here that our Mishnah doesn't fit with the opinion of Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. And then we presented the opinion of Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda, and it came out that it seems that it doesn't fit with his opinion. And the Gemara said that we could explain that it does. So this answer would actually fit with all opinions. Just to point out here for a moment that the reason why the conclusion that it doesn't fit with Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda is in green, and then our final understanding that it does fit with him is in red, is because originally we wanted to say it seems that that's what we need to say. It's green as in a sense that that's what we have to say, and the Gemara rejects that, and that's why it's in a question. We reject to say that it doesn't fit with him; it can actually fit with him as well. But the Gemara presents the question of Rabbi Avo on this answer of Rabbi Abba. And Rabbi Avo says that it makes no sense to say that it's a basket because the Mishnah says yada; it doesn't say traskel shav yada. Then Rabbi Avo presented his own answer, which was that the individual had his hand within 3 tefachim of the ground. And we say loved is that if a person's hand is within 3 tefachim of the ground, it's as if it's resting on the ground. So there is dalad al dalad, because his hand is the same as if it's on the ground. The Gemara asked, but the people were standing. How could the person's hand be within 3 tefachim if both individuals were standing? The hand is going to end up being higher up. We gave 3 answers. One is that the person was bent over. The other answer is he was standing in a pit, and his hand was outside of the pit, so his hand was within 3 tefachim of the ground. And the last answer is that the Oni and the Balabayas were both midgets. Rava asks on this, Ichbol Tana Lashmin and Kolani, that the Tana go through so many cases just to teach us about these out of the ordinary cases. It taught us the Oni, the Balabayas, it taught us the Chayiv cases, the Potter cases, Haitzah, Achnasa. It taught all of that the Tana teach all of that for these out of the ordinary cases. The Tana wouldn't do such a thing. And therefore Rava presents his own answer that Yada Shalodam Chashuv Dalad al Dalad. There was Dalad al Dalad in our Mishnah because a person's hand is considered Dalad al Dalad. And we brought supportive teaching from Rabbi Yechanan, who taught the same thing, that Yada Shel Adam Chashuv Dalad al Dalad. And then we moved on to a side discussion, which was Rabbi Yechanan said that if somebody threw an item 4 Amos Mishas Rabbim and another person caught it in his hand, so clearly it's in his hand over there, as opposed to the previous teaching, he said he just caught it. Here it said he caught it in his hand. Rabbi Yechanan says the thrower is chayiv. If the person caught it standing in one place, the thrower is chayiv. So the Gemara asks, what's he teaching us here? That a person's hand is 4x4, is considered to be 4x4. He already said that clearly, that a person's hand is considered 4x4. And we answered, you would think that it's only 4x4 when the person had in mind that it should rest in a hand. Then he gave importance to the hand, that it's considered 4x4. But in a case where he just threw the item, he didn't know where it's going to land, and it ended up landing in somebody's hand, which is loy achshav lo yodei. He didn't give significance to the other person's hand. Maybe then it's not considered 4x4. The Gemara answered that even then it's considered 4x4, and that's the teaching of Rabbi Yechanan, that even even where the person didn't give significance to another's hand, it's still considered dalad al dalad. So to summarize, first we presented 3 answers that said that our Mishnah follows opinions that hold that we don't need dalad al dalad, and we rejected them. Then we presented 3 answers that said in our Mishnah we do have dalad al dalad. We rejected the first 2 and accepted the final one of Rava, that we have dalad al dalad in our Mishnah because yadei shel adam chashuv leike dalad al dalad, because a person's hand is considered to be dalad al dalad, and therefore we have in every case akira and anacha from and to a place that's dalad al dalad.